Showdown, and I'm back here with another video. Now, as always, people, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Feel free to drop a comment if you like, and I'll happily get back to you. Now, people, welcome to the weekend roundup, man. And obviously, didn't able to get to do this last week because I was out there in Las Vegas for Canelo against Crawford, man. A tremendous experience. And if you guys haven't watched it already, go ahead and check out the vlogs that I done 3 vlogs on the whole Las Vegas experience for Canelo and Crawford. Great content. Go ahead and watch it, like the video, share the video, and yeah, let me know what you guys think, man. And just to kind of round up that trip, it was just a tremendous experience being out there. It's always been a bucket list of mine to watch a big fight in Las Vegas, right? As a boxing fan, that will always be a bucket list for many, I believe. And fortunately, I was able to do that. Now, I've been to Vegas before, but to go there for a boxing event and an event as big as this, right, is definitely one to remember. So if you guys are ever fortunate enough to do that, I would highly recommend it. Had a great time out there. And yeah, definitely would recommend it. But go ahead and watch those vlogs, man. Some great content on there. And yeah, really had a great time. So the jet lag was a bit crazy, coming back home. Obviously, I was a bit tired for the first few days, as you can imagine, Vegas being 8 hours behind the UK time. And the fact that it was only 2 nights I was out there for. So yeah, body had to do a bit of adjusting. But yeah, it was great. We'll do it again for sure. So let's get into the topic of the video, man. The weekend roundup. What next for Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez, right? Because that always seems to be the question after a big fight. It's always what next. The fighters have barely left the ring, and someone's put a microphone in their face saying, "What next?" But we've had some time to let the dust settle a bit. Terence Crawford at 38 years old, becoming a free weight undisputed champion. Do you know what I mean? What next for him? Let's talk about him first. Now, I've seen people talk about it. I saw Roy Jones, I think, say something on it where he basically said that for Crawford, he'd like to see him retire now, and it's definitely an option. Do you know what I mean? Because in terms of reaching the top of the mountain, you know, um, conquering, being at the top, the height of your career, is it going to get better than this? Because you defeated Canelo Alvarez, who is a superstar in the sport. You've become undisputed champion. You did it in Las Vegas. You did it in front of 70,000 people. You're 38 years old. Is it going to get any better than that? What's going to motivate you to get to that level again? You know, um, and he was the underdog going into that fight. So all of that taken into consideration, should Crawford call it a day? I'd say that if he was to, I wouldn't argue it. You know, he cemented his legacy. He cemented his era. Like, this is the Crawford era. Him, Usyk, they've laid their claims to cement this era as theirs. So that's done. You're undefeated. You've done it all, man. So you could go right now. Or if you were to stay, the Canelo rematch is obviously on the table. If it's there, Canelo might not want it, but if it's there, then why not? You go out there, beat him again, earn a hefty paycheck again, and sail off into the sunset. You could do that, or you could go down to 160, because I wouldn't recommend he stay at 168 if it wasn't a Canelo rematch. I wouldn't. Um, but you could go down to 160. I think he'd be able to do that. And if he does, then that division is there for him to conquer, middleweight. When I look at it, and I've wanted to do a video on this for so long with regards to the middleweight division. I've just never got round to doing it. But it was really just to express my disappointment at that division. When you consider how much of a glamour division middleweight is, right? Um, that division there over the years, it's a star-studded division. Not right now, but it's just a glamour. Is the boxing's glamour divisions are heavyweight, middleweight, welterweight, and lightweight. Always have been. They've been the glamour divisions, really. Do you know what I mean? And middleweight right now is so disappointing. It's trash. I'm just being honest, man. It's a horrible division. All right, you've got Aleem Khalidi in there who can fight. You've got guys in there. I mean, it's not a trash division in terms of like who's in it, but actually, no, it is who's in it, because there's just nothing going on there, you know? Like, no unification. I don't know anything in middleweight right now. So Crawford could go down to middleweight, take that over, become the king there, and then really, and if he was able to get a clear route to the undisputed championship at middleweight, then do it. Do you know what I mean? Because he said he's not going to go down to 154. So, and that makes sense when you're at 168 at 38 years old. So if you are able to do it safely and you do want to stay in boxing, conquer middleweight, man. Because that division is waiting for someone to go out there and conquer it. You know, I don't know what's happening with that. I think Aleem Kaluli said he's going to have a fight scheduled soon. I'm not sure who it is against, but yeah, the middleweight is trash, man. It is trash. And Crawford could go down there, and he'd definitely be the favorite to beat any of the guys down there. Aleem Kaluli will be a tough fight for sure, but I'd pick him to beat him. So let's see. They're my options for Crawford, man. I would say if you can get the rematch with Canelo at 168, from a financial perspective, it makes sense. Maybe not for the boxing viewer because we've seen that fight. No one would really see how Canelo could beat him in a rematch. But for him, if I was his management team, I would consider that rematch if it presented itself. Otherwise, go down to middleweight, conquer that division. You know, there's always that for him. So let's see what happens, man. Let's see. But retiring is also an option as well. If he was to retire, I wouldn't argue it. So let's just see. That's my thoughts on Terence Crawford. But let's see what the article says here, because I believe that they were referring to Hamza Shiraz as a potential opponent. Let me scroll down here. Yeah. Hamza Shiraz speaks on Terence Crawford's weight decision and super fight rumors. So looking at this article, it's just an opinion article. If I go back to the top here, it says here, could this undefeated boxer be Terence Crawford's next opponent? It would make a lot of sense. So that's an opinion rather than actual substantial, um, you know, sources or anything like that. I think it's just this person's opinion, right? And they're saying Hamza Shiraz. So if he was to stay at 168, then maybe Hamza Shiraz, um, it would make sense, I guess, if he was to stay. And Hamza Shiraz was one of those that was picking against Crawford. He picked Canelo to beat Crawford pretty soundly, actually. Do you know what I mean? And he got proven wrong there. So it's a potential opponent, but like I said, for me, I would rather Crawford, if he was to stay and it's not against Canelo, then make undisputed at 160. But let's see. What about Canelo Alvarez, man? Because he is now the WBC super middleweight ranked number one contender, right? So the WBC are basically saying if you want the rematch with Crawford, it's there. Do you know what I mean? It's up to Canelo though. Does he want to do that again? He might do. He didn't really indicate in the press conference that he wanted to, you know. But he's a fighter, and maybe he might want to do it again. I don't know. But he will always have options no matter what, Canelo Alvarez. It doesn't matter where he is in his career, he will always have options. And he could stay at super middle. He could drag Benavidez back down. I know Benavidez is fighting Yard in November, but by the time May rolls around next year, which is when Canelo will likely fight, he could drag Benavidez back down if he wants to. He could fight contenders at super middleweight. He could fight Jamal Charlo, maybe. Do you know what I mean? So there are guys out there if he wants to, but I don't think Canelo will have long left anyway. Do you know what I mean? I don't. So time will tell, but he could go on a victory lap. Or I say victory lap, and I'm talking about in terms of his career and what he's done. He could go to Mexico and kind of close his career out there. Or let's see, you know. But he is, as this article says here, the WBC ranked super middleweight contender. So, I mean, Christian Mbili is technically the interim champion, as it says in this article here. But the WBC, they don't really play by their books here. Let's see. The WBC released their new super middleweight rankings, thus being the first of the four major non-sanctioning bodies to do so. Let's continue going down. Let's go down here. Why is this not working? Oh, I'm on the other screen. That's right. Okay, cool. While this ranking might make it seem like Canelo is a clear-cut favorite to get a rematch against Crawford, the reality isn't so obvious. Christian Mbili is the interim super middleweight champion, so technically he'd be in front of Canelo. Technically, he'd be in front of Canelo. Technically. But, I just, if the WBC want Canelo to fight Crawford next, if Canelo says I want Crawford next and Crawford wants it, the WBC are going to make it happen. They're not going to say, oh, well, nah, we need to put Mbili in there because he's going to fight Martinez in a rematch anyway. So, yeah, I think that Canelo will likely, if he does carry on, May and September will be the dates that he'll be back for. We always have options. If he doesn't retire, then just, there are a number of names that he could fight, the likes of maybe even a Pacheco, right? Or Hamza Shiraz. That would still be an attractive fight. Drag Benavidez down if he wants it to super middle, and he could have those fights in Mexico. So, or if you don't want the Crawford rematch, that is. But Canelo's got options, people. So Let me know what you guys think. That's just my thoughts on them, both of those two. And would be interested to see what you guys think and what you'd like to see those two guys do next. So yeah, let me know what you guys think about that. Yeah. This was a very entertaining press conference, man. If you guys didn't watch it, go and check it out. I did do a video on this earlier in the week, and that was to do with Eubank Jr. and Eddie Hearn going back at it, because that was hilarious, them two going back and forth in a press conference this week, man. And a lot of accusations were being made by Eubank Jr. and Eddie Hearn ain't take to them lightly. Do you know what I mean? So Eubank might be having his own separate fight with Eddie Hearn in court after some of the accusations that were made at this press conference, man. But it was very entertaining, and definitely would recommend you guys watching it if you didn't already. And yeah, a lot of wild accusations from Eubank Jr., man, talking about how he felt that Matchroom and those involved were responsible for his ambulance leaving the arena late, which is a serious accusation. He also went at it against the British Boxing Board of Control. He's definitely going to get sanctioned for that. So let's get into this article, man. Eubank Jr. and Conor Benn kicking off their rematch press conference. Very entertaining. Do you know what I mean? And let's see here. Eubank Jr., this is on the BBC, used the opportunity to claim that Team Benn and Eddie Hearn tried to sabotage him before his first fight with Benn. Among several accusations, Eubank claimed that Team Benn meddled in his weight cut. They did everything they could do to try and destroy me in this last fight, Eubank said. Contract breaches, fines, rehydration clauses, sabotage weigh-in, biased commentary and refereeing. Yeah, Eubank really threw it out there. And Eubank was admitted to hospital after the win, said he lost a toenail to severe dehydration, which is crazy. I never knew that was a thing. But yeah, Eddie Hearn weren't having it. He was going back at Eubank while he was talking. And yeah, I guess we'll find out. But just going into this article a bit more here. Um, yeah, Eubank, just looking at it, Eubank Jr. and Hearn clashed repeatedly during the build up to the first fight, with the former taking to heckling the matchroom promoter whenever he spoke. And that was the content of the video that I did, people. So um, Eddie Hearn, he attempted to do a tribute to Ricky Hatton when he was speaking at the presser. But Eubank has always said that he's not going to allow Eddie Hearn to talk. So when Eddie Hearn tried to talk, Eubank just spoke over him, even at this point, which is where the controversy was. Because, you know, paying tribute to Ricky Hatton, normally you would allow someone to, I mean, you would just allow them to speak their piece. But Eubank Jr. weren't having it. Do you know what I mean? And he did receive some criticism for it. Some people were in support of Eubank, saying that they knew what Eddie Hearn was trying to do. But yeah, what do you guys think about that? Like I said, I did a separate video on that. But as for the fight itself, this fight here, Eubank Jr. and Benn, I wasn't really for it at the beginning. I wasn't, but it turned out to be a very good fight, um, very entertaining, and you can understand why they're doing it again. Do you know? But at the time when it was announced, I wasn't really a fan of it. Eubank Jr. fighting at middleweight, the rehydration clause was crazy. Conor Benn moving up two weight divisions. I mean, this fight would never have happened if it wasn't for their surname. Let's just be honest, because they were not on the path at all to fight, and it was clearly just a fight to make money. But listen, it had everything, and it produced a great night, which is why we're doing a rematch. So, yeah, let's see what happens, people. But I'm looking forward. I'm actually kind of looking forward to the rematch if there's no rehydration clause. But let's see. If there is, then I think that Conor Benn will win the rematch, man. I think he will. Because he really tested Eubank to the limit in that fight. If Eubank is silly enough to agree to that again, which he said that he hasn't, then I'd favor Conor Benn. But I don't know. I think that Eubank will be the favorite if not. But let's see. Let's see. What do you guys think about it? Eubank Jr. and Conor Benn. Let me know your thoughts about that in the comment section below. And while we're here on the BBC, let's go to Ricky Hatton, man, because of course, hearing the news was very sad over the last weekend. And like I said, I was in Vegas at the time when I found out, Vegas being 8 hours behind. And, just I woke up that morning and couldn't wait to do videos on Terence Crawford. I couldn't wait to speak about my experience being there in Las Vegas and seeing it live. Do you know what I mean? Woke up to loads of messages on my phone, and yeah, it was about Ricky Hatton. I was just like, didn't see this coming from anywhere. I know Hatton has had a lot of documented struggles in the past, but it's important, not to speculate too much while the family grieve. And they've released a statement which is on the BBC website, and it says here, former world champion Ricky Hatton was excited for the future before his death, says his family. You know, police said there were not believed to be any suspicious circumstances. Hatton's family said that to all our knowledge, despite his well documented struggles, Richard was in a good place. So, yeah, more will come out, I'm sure, when they're ready to. And, I guess when the police said that there wasn't any suspicious circumstances, it's natural for us to, assume what it could be without having the facts and details. But like I said, it's important just to not speculate too much without, receiving word on official word from the coroner and the family. But they want to grieve in peace, and that's totally understandable. But Ricky Hatton, as I said, he was supposed to be heading off to Dubai for he was coming back to the ring, and I think the family speak about it here, and it said um, he last fought professionally in 2020 in 2012 and was due to fight on the 2nd of December in Dubai. Organizers said it was a professional bout, but it was unclear if it was fully sanctioned or not. The family said his bag was packed ready to go to Dubai to promote a comeback fight, and he was planning a celebration in Dubai, which his beloved girls Millie and Fern were to be the center of. So, yeah, it just it's very, very sad, man. And I can imagine this has hit the family like a ton of bricks. Ricky Hatton is beloved amongst the British public and the people, and his family more than anyone else. So, yeah, it's a lot to take in. I did watch his documentary again over the weekend, the one on Sky, the Sky documentaries one. Tremendous documentary. If you guys haven't seen it, go ahead and check that out if you haven't. But yeah, very sad news about Ricky Hatton, man. And I guess we'll just have to wait and see while more information becomes available. You know what I mean? So let me know what you guys think about it, man. Ricky Hatton sadly passing away at the age of 46. Yeah, very, very sad, man. Very, very sad. Finally, people, just want to get to this as well, man. Now Inoue returning to the ring again on the 27th of December, man. This is unbelievable, really. Do you know what I mean? When you consider a superstar like Nawa Inoue returning to the ring, this will be the fourth ring appearance this year. You don't get that. If we have, guys in the ring that are of a certain level, even twice a year, we're like, fair enough, man. They've been active this year. But Inoue, who is 32, is in the ring for the fourth time this year, man. Unbelievable. So shout out to Inoue, who obviously fought last week, didn't get to cover it, but he was in there against Akhmadaliev, which was a fight where some predicted would give Inoue a lot of trouble, right? I saw some people picking him to beat him, but Inoue shut him out, beat him very easily, over 12 rounds. And that was another impressive win for him. Listen, this generation of fighters right now, the pound for pound list, it really is Usyk, Crawford, and Inoue, whatever order you choose, and then the rest. Do you know what I mean? Bivol is definitely number four. I think that's pretty unanimous too. But those three are literally on the mountaintop right now, man. And Inoue, again, spectacular over the weekend, last weekend. And he's going to be fighting again and on 27th of December. So let's get into this article, people, and let's find out more. So now Inoue will defend his undisputed super bantamweight world championship against Mexico's Alan David Picasso Romero on the 27th of December in Saudi Arabia. And of course, on the undercard is going to be Yunto Nakatani, also a pound for pound fighter, a fighter that is looking to fight now Inoue. And what a way to promote that, having both of them on the same card. And Nakatani, who is a world champion at the weight below, he'll be taking on Sebastian Hernandez in his debut at super bantamweight. So you can see what the aim is here. And I'm all for it. Do you know what I mean? It's going to be a tremendous card with Japanese fighters on the bill. But Nakatani potentially fighting Inoue. Nakatani is also unbeaten as well. Wow. Do you know what I mean? So I can see what that is all about. Makes sense. And Inoue, it's just got the undercard here in full. Nakatani will be taking on Sebastian Hernandez and Inoue against Picasso. You've got Jazza Dickens on there on that show. So yeah, 27th of December, just after Christmas, why not? Look forward to that. And shout out to Naoya Inoue, man, fighting for the fourth time this year. Unprecedented among the elite fighters in the sport today. You don't see that. So shout out to him. And yeah, looking to build that fight with Nakatani, which would be a tremendous fight. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, let me know what you guys think about it. But what did you guys think about Inoue's win over Akhmadaliev as well? tremendous win, and one that, like I said, some people were picking the upset in that, but Inoue just cemented his legacy and his greatness in that video. In that video, I said I didn't get to do a video, but in that fight, and he's going to be at it again. So shout out to him, man, and let me know what you guys think about that. That pretty much wraps it up for the weekend roundup, people. Yeah, great to do these again. Leave a like on the video if you've made it this far. Drop a comment, share the video, subscribe to the channel here if you're new, and look out for more of these every single Sunday. I will be doing a weekend roundup, and let me know what you guys think, man. Drop your thoughts in the comment section below, people, and I'll catch you guys on the next video.